Hi guys, welcome to Love Story. All right, I haven't been on here in a minute, but if you know that I have started a new job. It's full-time. I haven't had a full-time job since my son was like really little, because I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, but I still worked. So I worked all like evenings and weekends, part-time. Anyways, if you hear my car, forgive me on that, but I had to turn it on while I'm waiting for my son to get out of basketball. But so I just wanted to, like, God hasn't given me like a word or anything lately. Like, he's given me like little things, and usually I like to write them down so that I can be prepared and know what I'm talking about, get some scripture. I left my Bible at home, the one that I carry, because I fell asleep with it in the bed last night. And typically I don't even read that one, but I just grabbed it because I'm kind of like just living with taking my bag everywhere and just in transition. And so, but what I did want to talk about is, like, I've had these progressive prophetic words and even visions and dreams. And, like I say all the time, the pieces of the puzzle, we don't know all of the pieces, but they will slowly begin to be put together, and then we'll get an understanding and see the full picture eventually. But as it's coming alive and coming together, we are beginning to see. It's kind of like, hangman. Like, when you get those letters, you end up being like, oh my gosh, I think I know what that is. And the closer you get to it, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. So right now, the bride of Christ is, the transition has been the separation. Now, I personally didn't know what that was going to look like. But there is a separation in the bride of Christ in order to preserve the bride, so that the bride can be all that the bride is called to be. Because people are in toxic relationships, whether it's friends, family, marriage, even employment, like where you work and stuff. So the Lord has begun this separation, and it's for your protection. So, and it just depends to, like, it's not about, well, it is kind of about being good and evil in some ways, because there are wolves in sheep's clothing, and just, the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy. But among the bride of Christ, there's wise ones and there's foolish ones. So let's just pretend like, the 10 virgins parable, half of the bride of Christ is wise and half are foolish. So if we take Christianity, or people, followers of Christ, let's just say half are foolish and half are wise. So the wise ones are being separated from the foolish. They're being separated, and the wise ones are going to the promised land right now. The other ones God is still going to deal with in the desert. And this is also for preserving of the foolish ones, because he wants to prune them. He wants to, and either way, wise or foolish, we're always going to be, needing to be worked on. We are vessels, we are the clay, and he is the potter. And so, but, just like the story where Moses rescues people out of slavery, and, they end up in the wilderness for a long time, and end up complaining and stuff. Well, even Moses didn't even get to see the promised land. So, and some of those people did not get to see the promised land, but the next generation did. And so I always say, like, each generation paves the way for the next generation. So, the generation that is older than you, they might not get to actually see where you're going, or maybe you're going to the promised land, and the generation that's older than you is behind you, and they're stuck in that wilderness, especially because some people are stuck in their ways. They're stuck in, just how they were raised, because of the generation they were raised in different ways and ideas and things that they had. But the Lord is really pruning the bride of Christ in this hour. So the separation is it's just part of that. And so some people are going to see their promised lands, literally promises after promises, suddenly. Like everything is happening suddenly. And if you've seen my series, The Bride and the Barley Harvest, that's the latest series. It's really good information. Okay. Now, I really want to redo it because I feel like a lot of things are really unfolding, and I probably will actually. I'm actually getting understanding of what the Lord was doing with that. And like, it's just blowing my mind. And I want to say, like, so Ruth, as fast, okay, let me back up. Prophetically, I've been saying for a year now, boom, there's like going to be like boom, suddenlies, miracles. It's going to happen fast. When it happens, it's going to happen fast. So when it's your season, when you end up in the promised land, or when you're, you could be in the promised land. Like, I feel like I was in the promised land for like 2 years, but when you're in that promised land, you have to conquer giants. Like you have to conquer the giants, even though like it's already yours, the victory is already yours. Like if you just read, like, what is it, Joshua, Judges, yeah. So there is still a process when you're in the promised land. But then so anyway, okay, so right now there is a lot of suddenlies, booms, and God is redeeming people quickly. So just like, you know, the story of Ruth, Naomi, Boaz, the women, as soon as they got to Bethlehem, Ruth went to work right away. And